Hello and welcome to a wet and windy allotment here in Yorkshire, and today, well, we're planting out, but before I do that we've got to do some weeding amongst my parsnips. Now I have to be very careful with the parsnips because they're very sensitive. Well, their roots are anyway, which become the parsnips. Let me just move my cable. They don't like to be damaged because once they're damaged it affects their growth and they can get disease, so you have to be very careful. But we need to take the weeds out in between them because otherwise they're fighting for water, of course, and of course space to grow. And we're going to be doing that in a moment or two, so that'll be interesting. But what to use? Well, I've got all sorts of devices actually. These are all different types of weeding. This one loosens the soil, then try and get them out, but I'm not sure about that. These are, well, that's called a Dutch hoe. Not quite sure why, maybe I should find out. Anyway, that's a Dutch hoe. And well, that's a form of a Dutch hoe, but that one, it obviously it's got serrated edges. It cuts out the weeds when you're weeding. That's if you've got a massive area. I've got one over there, so I could use that on there. And this one is supposedly, it looks lethal, doesn't it? It's supposed to take all the weeds out of the cracks in the stones, but I like the look of this for here. I've not got much room in between my parsnips, so I might have a go at that and very gently loosen the soil and obviously take out the weeds. We're also doing some planting out, as I said yesterday, and remember? Hello, there you are. Oh. The reason this is called a Dutch hoe apparently is because, well, it actually came from Holland in the Middle Ages, and over there originally it's called a shovel or a shovel, and well, the poor old Middle English, they couldn't pronounce shuffle, so it became the Dutch hoe. I'm laughing because, well, this is more sophisticated than our Middle English hoe. So goodness knows what that was designed like. What, a couple of sticks maybe? And I don't know, knows it probably was. So that's where you get your Dutch hoe from Holland. And originally called a shuffle. Dear. Well, we'll learn something new every day. See you later. Oh, well, that was wonderful. Just allow me. Everything is covered in mud. Well, it's bound to be because when you... Let me put my glove back on a minute because, well, I'll show you what we've achieved this morning. Ta-da! Look at that lot. These are all the weeds that I've got from within my little growing area, and it wasn't a very big area. So yes, it's de-weeded, and gloves are useless, aren't they? Luckily I found an old cloth on the allotment that's wet through, so we'll just wash our hands there. Nowhere to wipe them, but we're on the allotment, it doesn't matter. So it's been, oh, do you know, it's so lovely to get down and get dirty in mud. Reminds me of being a child, just playing in mud all day. It's fantastic. And I'd forgotten, I planted onion seeds. Yes, onion seeds in a row right next to where the parsnips were. And because of all the weeds, I'd completely forgotten about them. And unfortunately, the last few weeks, I've been trotting on them thinking they were just weeds. Anyway, thanks to my device here, this beautiful cutting device, I managed to get all the weeds out from between the onions. So now we'll have onions, which is fantastic. And yes, it's quite important though when you're weeding, especially in there. You see, I've got sweet corn growing. And the sweet corn has very delicate roots. They grow very close to the surface. So be really careful around sweet corn when you're weeding. In fact, it's a good idea when they're first coming through is to mound them up a little bit and give them extra near their roots. I'm going to go and redo mine now I've done the weeding around them and give them a little more support and a bit more stability. And that's the thing, you need to now start looking at maybe putting supports in. Even for the brassicas, some of my sprouts I'm going to have to put stakes in, because my leaves are ginormous for some reason, but they will start producing little beetroot soon. Hang on, did I just say sprouts or beetroot? Oh dear, been out in the cold too long. And as soon as they do, I can start taking a few leaves off, which would be very, very good. It's been really exciting. You think I'd know, wouldn't you, all this time? Look at that. That looks nothing like a pea, does it? And yeah, I've had masses of those growing in between the peas, so I've took those out as well. And we've done a bit of de-slugging as well. Found a few slugs. They've gone. Not the usual way, unfortunately, today, but they've gone. I've had to make a few sacrifices, should I say. And well, that's how it goes sometimes. It's brilliant down here. I'm going to finish my cup of tea, and we'll see you later.